Sexual. Some people are straight, and some people are gay. Maybe I'm just sexual. 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 Some prefer the top, and some prefer the bottom. But we're all just sexual. Sexual. We're all just sexual. Sexual. Yeah.
Hey, we're not in the 60s, but yet we're talking about the same things. So why are we having these same discussions? It's so interesting that you find it fascinating. Who I'm sleeping with and what I'm doing. Why do we all need these labels? Your character is all that matters to me. You shouldn't let ideology and favors make you stop loving family and friends.
Some people are straight.
Ooh yeah.
Some people are gay.
Ooh yeah.
Maybe I'm just sexual.
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 Some prefer the top, and some prefer the bottom. But we're all just sexual. Sexual. Just sexual.
Some people are straight. Ooh yeah.
Some people are gay.
Oh yeah.
Baby, I'm just sexual.
Baby, I'm just sexual.
Sexual.
Ooh yeah.
Some prefer the top,
Some prefer the top.
the bottom.
Some prefer the bottom.
We're all just sexual.
Sexual.
We're all just sexual.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Why do we all need these labels? Is he gay or straight or somewhere in between? Yeah. Don't let ideology and favors make you treat your brother or your sister differently. Yeah.
Some people are straight.
Some people are straight.
Some people are gay.
Some people are gay.
Baby, I'm just sexual.
Baby, I'm just sexual.
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 Some prefer the top,
Some prefer the top.
some prefer the bottom.
Some prefer the bottom.
We're all just sexual. We're all just sexual. Some people are straight.
Some people are gay.
Some people are gay.
Some people are straight.
Baby, I'm just sexual.
I'm just sexual, baby.
Sexual.
I don't need a label.
Some prefer the top,
Some people are down.
some prefer the bottom. We're all just sexual.
I'm just sexual.
We're all just sexual.
Yeah, yeah.
Sexual. 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 Some people are straight.
Some people are gay. Oh, sugar.
Baby, I'm just sexual.
Does it really matter?
Sexual.
Does it really matter?
Some prefer the top, and some prefer the bottom. But we're all just sexual. Sexual. We're all just sexual. Yeah.
What's going on? 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 What's going on, y'all? I hope that you all are having a wonderful Monday evening. I know it's the beginning of the week. That shit can be a little irritating, no shade, but baby, freedom is manifesting in all forms, girl, and I suggest that y'all take part in it. Okay? We are back for yet another Bub's Flow edition, girl, of The Cross in the Closet, chapter 30 and 31. I am so proud of myself and us. What's up, Queen Spicy? I am so proud of us, girl. My ass is short, so I already know that I am vertically challenged, but that God still works at this level too, girl, and I just feel good about it. So, we are 30 chapters in, y'all. I think this is the first time I've ever done. Well, no, that's a lie. I did one before, but on my channel, actually completing a book. And I'm so proud to have thought about this book and decided to, present it to you guys because, again, like, if anything, this book just kind of validates where a lot of humanity is still stuck at, especially here in the West, in America. How we as human beings are afraid to get it because we haven't included ourselves. So when you don't include yourself, how are we going to be able to see it in somebody else? You know what I mean? And the majority of us are in that type of mindset, which is why organized religion has the control that it has. And it gives you these rules that you're supposed to follow that even those who profess to know it more than us can't even do it in their own life. Because we approach a lot of things from a fear-based standpoint as opposed to a more healed, aware version of ourselves. What's up, Ron? Okay. And this book literally shares the story of one guy. And now when I say this, I'm not saying that Tim's expression is a monolithic viewpoint. Because I have to believe also that there are people who are in organized religion who do walk in Christ energy, who really are just exploring, using organized religion and just exploring the darker parts of that place where there isn't much love and choosing to love on them. Ron said, come on, Ron, with the questions. Come on, Ron. Question, do you relate to any of the characters? I kind of somewhat looking at back or reading it over again in a second for a second time. See, Andrew always starting, girl. Girl, I be watching a lot of Andrew Caldwell shit, and his isms is falling on me, girl. That is some, I gotta rebuke that shit. But reading it for the second time, I relate to Tim, and I also relate somewhat to the inner Pharisees, because the inner Pharisees is basically just an ignorant side of you. Okay, the one that act like it got the power, but girl don't really got the power. All it has is lip service, and that's it. So like my ego, which is the Pharisees, even Tim with the fact that even with me as a queer man, I'm still learning about LGBT. Just because I'm in the motherfucking or the acronym is a part of this whole damn situation that we got going on. I still need to be educated about the L because I'm not a lesbian. I still need to be educated about bisexual because I'm not bisexual. I'm not trans. I'm not intersex. I'm not asexual. Like, the information age is bringing forth what is called the information. And for some people, it can be overwhelming, and that's okay. If you're overwhelmed, we just want people to be honest about where they're at. You know what I mean? And I have to learn to be honest because I don't know everything. Which is why, again, I apply self-love so that I can have the awareness to remind myself, okay, Bubs, it's not just you in the world. One of my other supporters, Aries, he send me shit all the time and I be learning. And he be kind of be checking me sometimes. Be like, Bubs, you need to listen. So, Tim, who else? I guess Sean, in a sense, because even though I'm short, I'm built nice. I may not be where I want to be, but goddamn it, I'm not mad at where I am right now. Okay, and I'm also I'm also finding my vocal confidence. Okay, so when you said boys to me and had a smooth voice, I'm like, okay, girl, I can try that too. Um, I think that's it for right. No, no, no. Who else? Um, I think was it Connie? I believe Tim's friend when he went down to Memphis. No, was it Memphis? Girl, where he went to? When he got away for a month, and he was able to kind of reconnect with himself and kind of just be in a safe space. I relate to that as well because, contrary to popular belief, I know that I have a gift in reference to helping people and serving people. And one thing that I'm learning to be more cognitive of is to listen to people. Oh shit, we got King Anubis in the building. Rico the Brat. Okay, his thick ass. Every time I see him, I'm like, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. Just thank you, Lord. God is real. Okay? But I try my best to offer a safe space, and I think that's kind of like because in one of the lives that I did recently, talking about protecting the queer children, I gave an account of my experience as a queer child and how even in the midst of me being bullied and stuff, like I still had a knack to wanting to help people. So there was a peer mediation like program that happened at my school and I loved it. I done went on summits and stuff. So I've kind of from a young child always had been taught how to deal with some sort of conflict resolution when it came to people outside of me. I just didn't know how to do it with me, within myself. I didn't know how to save me. I knew how to save other people. So I try my best to offer a safe space and a place for people to talk, even with people who don't agree with me. Now, if we're going to talk, we're going to talk and be honest. No shade. No shade. That's why I had invited Ron Vugad onto my platform, because I wanted to attempt to bridge a gap. I've read stories about it before, it happening, it being possible. There was a story of an individual who was this black guy who was a news reporter, and he wanted to interview this grand wizard of the clan. And his name sounded white, looked white, girl. And he, of course, on the phone, you know how black people can code switch. Hello, how are you? Yes, hi, yes. I'm calling in regards to, you know how we can do. We understand the system, girl, so we still play a role in it somewhat, girl, that's the sad part, but in order to survive. And they had scheduled an interview, and the black guy and the Klansman met, and it was just sheer tension in the room, girl, like, oh my God, it's a nigger here. And he's saying, oh my God, it's the Klan here. Like, there's this fear of each other that was so intense, and like, the tension was so thick in the room, you can cut it with a knife. And they were sitting in the back office where the Grand Wizard's office was in the back. And they were sitting there, and it was nervous because it was like, bitch, you know that awkward nervousness to where it's like, girl, at any moment some shit finna pop off. Like, girl, you be nervous, like you on edge, goosebumps, hair on the back of your neck raising. And they had like an ice machine in there, and the ice machine, like, I guess turned on or something. And then like everybody kind of just jumped. Everybody, the nigga, the Klansman, his henchmen, the secretary, everybody was. But afterwards, they all just busted out laughing because it was like, we sitting here. This is very ignorant what we're keeping up here. Like this fear-based, pseudo-fear-based ideology, girl. It just showed how afraid both parties are. They sat down, and once the fear, I guess the icebreaker literally was the icebreaker. No shade. After that happened, they continued the whole interview thing and went nice, and then they started talking more and more and more to the point to where the Klansman ended up inviting the black dude and his wife over to his house, and within 3 to 5 years, he renounced. Is it renounced, girl? Because I want to make sure. Girl, okay, let me give Andrew his due deals, girl. Because, girl, we love everybody, girl. So Andrew just coming over here with his desperate ass to be loved, bitch. Someone to kiss.
And that's one thing. And
you wanted it.
Okay.
And you got it.
You what?
You wanted it.
And you what?
And you got it.
I gotta find some old Andrew Caldwell clips, and that's gonna be a key within itself, girl, because I know so many of them. But the Klansman, the Grand Wizard, he ended up shifting his viewpoint towards humanity. So and it's so crazy that even the people who are oppressed, who actively know they're oppressed, who objectively understand without a shadow of a doubt that they're oppressed, and they still, through that oppression, chose to love themselves so that they can love others. Okay, Ron said, I seen the same documentary. I don't think the man created world peace. Understandable, the Klan in the black community, but more or less showing all are the same, but I think it's based on cloud exposure from the Klan. I can see that. I can see that. I don't know. I guess maybe it's just me. Maybe I just have this hope for humanity because we're still here. We haven't received total objective judgment yet. So obviously there's an opportunity for us to kind of get ourselves together and connect, but I just know that we are all human. And I think if we focus on the things that are more human, that we all universally face, like fear, like pain, like love, and like joy, like to find out what issues is stemming those vibrations and speak to those roots so that we can heal as far as humanity is concerned. Because it's like, it'd be difficult for us to try to find world peace and connect with each other when it's easy, but then when shit get hard, like when something objectively happens to everybody that we all have to face, all of a sudden we can just immediately drop the label of race and become humans or Americans. It happened with 9/11. At least for a brief moment between white and black people, it was peace. Even though another group became the new niggas, you know. But it's like, why can't we just focus on, I don't know, that's just me. And maybe I'm on my tree hugger hippie type of shit mindset of everybody coming together in love, but it's like, if it takes destruction, overall objective destruction that nobody can escape, I'm talking about on some Dead Space type of shit. If y'all know the video game Dead Space or have seen some of the movies, it is one of the most terrifying things because it's like, girl, there is no hope for humanity, girl. Like none. None. Ain't no survivor, ain't no hope, girl. Everybody died at the end, girl. It's very scary. But it's like, if we don't figure out how to really heal the human heart, we can't be mad when God, Source, Universe, Mother Nature come through and be like, okay, girl, maybe a new batch of humans can probably get it right, girl. I mean, look at history. Mother Nature has no problem hitting the reset button. Mother Nature has no problem of doing what is known as natural selection, girl. And a lot of people out here who claim that they know what natural is gonna gag, girl, when the universe shows them what real natural, true objective natural is. But that's just me. Anyway, I've been talking, girl, but I do appreciate y'all. And the fact that y'all be rocking with me, being BubzDaGawd, I be all over the place, okay? I be stuttering like a motherfucker sometimes, girl, making all new words. Now I realize I'm not the only person. Thank God, girl. It must be something spiritual happening, girl. Is this a part of the awakening process, girl? We be glitching a little bit too. Now I don't want to be stuck glitching like Andrew Caldwell, girl, because that's a different type of, I don't know. And Andrew Caldwell ass must have some sort of protection or something over his ass, girl, because all the horrible shit he do, girl, and the police just ride past his ass. Andrew Caldwell be going into rich white people neighborhoods at the top of his lungs, girl, speaking in tongues and cussing people out, girl, and ain't nobody come out and say, what the hell are you doing here to him? This nigga driving around in new rentals every motherfucking week, girl, with his eyes closed on the road, praying in tongues, girl, and ain't nobody died. Girl, something is going on. I don't know, girl. The more blessed you are, girl, the more your tongue be fucking up, girl. I don't know. And if that's the recipe, girl, let me experience this, girl, because I'm living my best life. Anyway, before we get into, I love me. I love me. And I love being weird, girl. Because weird, if you do your research, girl, the origin of weird means that, an individual that's in control of their destiny. I don't mind being weird, girl, because I'm not trying to be like everybody else. I'm trying to be me. It took me 31 years to finally get here, but I'm here, bitch. I'm so glad I got that Benjamin Button shit going on, girl. I must be a half vampire or a leprechaun for real, girl, because I'll be aging like wine, bitch, and I want to age like Angela Bassett. Okay? The leprechaun version. All right? Age ain't nothing but a number when it come down to your love for yourself. Okay? But anyway, here we go. Boom. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made, okay, for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, and personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. And ladies and gentlemen, let's get into chapter 30. I'm thinking 29, girl. Angela asked that last chapter. Ooh, girl, that last chapter was it was heavy, but it was needed. Chapter 30, entitled A Reunion. Had to get a sip of water, y'all. Excuse me. Let's see. It has been several months since I was in New York, protesting with Soul Force, but Mel White and I have kept in touch. A few days ago, he emailed me and said he would be in Nashville to give a talk at a nearby college for National Coming Out Day. I jumped at the chance to go, knowing this may be my last opportunity to see Mel for quite some time. It is not often one gets the opportunity to sit and learn at the feet of a man who has been a figure in the civil rights movement for so many years. I drive the 15 minutes from my home to the college, all the while praying my car will make it, okay? The brake light, check engine light, and fasten seatbelt lights are permanently lit now. Oh, this motherfucker riding around dirty. You see me rolling. Girl, they hating, bitch. They remind me of a dashboard version of the Vegas Strip. I wish I had the money to pay for repairs, you know. I have yet to find a new job, and I am getting by doing odd jobs for friends. I hate yard work. Girl, you a nigga in real life. Welcome. Welcome me, welcome you. As I reach the college and park, I say a silent prayer of thanks and walk into the building. The room is the size of a small theater with maybe 200 chairs lined up on either side. My eyes scan the room for Mel. He is talking to a student and his back is to me. He is wearing a navy blue sports coat, ties, and khaki. Baby, that's a motherfucking baby. That is a KNG classic, girl. You can't go wrong with a navy blue sports coat, a tie, and some khakis, baby. That's a very casual, business casual look, and I like that. And he looks to be in, good spirits as he turns. Mel's smile is a small miracle. I say that because if you have read his story and know all that he has endured in his life, the fact that he is able to smile at all is surprising. Now, granted, he has enjoyed many happy, memories, but walking in his shoes during the several decades of reparative therapy would wipe a smile from anyone's face. Electroshock therapy, isolation therapy. Mel is a testament, not just to the human spirit, but also to the Holy Spirit. His humility in itself has inspired me this year, as it convicted me as I looked back to my freshman year of college at Liberty University. Mel sees me and lights up. He gives me a big hug and welcomes me with such warmth that I'm at a loss for what to say. Looking good, Mel. You looking good yourself, he says. Ever the charmer. I've dropped a few pounds, since New York and shit, doing lawn work and shit, yard work, girl. So, how is your year going? Mel asks excitedly. It has been the most eye-opening and life-changing thing I've ever done. He smiles. From bigot to ally in under 12 months. I must say, I'm impressed. And I think he is impressed. When we first talked last October, I was a totally different person. I had made it a goal to accept and love the LGBTQ plus community, but I never thought I would become an advocate or an ally. I tell Mel about being outed to my family, and he puts his hand on my shoulder in sympathy. Tim, you're going to face a lot of opposition from both sides, but when they see your heart, they will go a long way. That will go a long way in calming those fears. But hey, look, we'll talk more later. I've got to get set up. Oh Lord, Andrew. But hey, we'll talk later on. I've got to get up there soon to talk. Mel hugs me again and then walks away, and I look for a place to set my stuff down and find a seat. There are moments in one's life where the unexpected becomes an all too tangible reality. When things one never expected to happen, happened. One second I'm meandering through a room of people to find an empty seat, and the next I hear a voice. It is a voice from my past, but how long past, I can't figure out. I turn around and see someone I thought I would never see again. It was Elizabeth, the daughter of one of my childhood pastors, from a church that I have always jokingly blamed as responsible for ruining me. The things I learned there set me on a path that led me where I am now. But then again, maybe that isn't such a bad thing. The sight is more than surprising. Not only is she sitting there, she is holding the hand of another young woman and looks rather in love. The irony of the situation is not lost on me. Oh my God, Elizabeth? She laughs at my shock. It's me. How are you, Tim? I'm doing well, but at a loss for words at the moment. You're gay? Really? Takes one to know one. She laughs again. And who is this? I look over at the young woman whose hand Elizabeth is holding, and she smiles warmly. This is Nicole. Pleasure to meet you, Nicole. Girl, I gotta work on them Andrew Caldwell edits, girl. I'm gonna have so many. I'm gonna have to figure out how I'm gonna do it, girl, because it's already enough stuff I have. Baby. Pleasure to meet you, Nicole. I am completely and utterly dumbfounded, and the look on my face probably gives me away. How can this be? Nicole turns to Elizabeth and smiles. Is this the guy who you knew from your old church who came out earlier this year? Yes, it is. She smiles sweetly. Wow, it's nice to meet you, finally. Her tone is feminine and soft, and she reminds me of a movie star from the old black and whites. Very classic looking in her features, and very beautiful. It's nice to meet you too. I look over at Elizabeth, still shocked. You're really gay, like, are you serious? Hey now, I could ask you this. I could ask the same about you. My sister told me you'd come out, and I was surprised. You have to tell me all about it. You will too, I say. After, Mel gives his talk, we'll catch up. Mind if I sit next to you? Why, well, why wouldn't you? Elizabeth says playfully. Girl, Andrew, okay, girl. He wants a shit girl. He wants a shit girl. Not Andrew over here trying to become some sort of bootleg ass Orisha over here, girl.
That's one thing. And
You wanted it,
okay.
and you got it.
Okay, girl, you wanted it and you got it, girl. Don't tell me you over here, girl, trying to bust in on the Orishas, girl. Not you trying to take somebody's spot, bitch. I try my best to focus on Mel's speech at the front of the room, but my heart races at the implications of what is happening next to me. My conservative pastor's daughter sitting next to her girlfriend, like holding hands. Don't let anyone ever tell you that God doesn't have a brilliant sense of humor, or that he doesn't know how to put you in the exact situation needed to help you conquer your prejudice. Ooh, hold on, wait a minute. I gotta find something, baby, because that was a word.
In the name of Jesus, you be made whole by the power of God.
Woo, baby, the way them bullets done hit my spirit, girl. Can we read that one more time? My conservative pastor's daughter sitting next to her girlfriend, bitch, holding hands, girl, scissoring like a motherfucker, girl. Don't let anyone ever tell you that God doesn't have a brilliant sense of humor, or that he doesn't know how to put you in the exact situation needed to help you conquer your prejudice. Woo, 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 woo. And let's take a pause right there. Let's put a pin in that. That's why love is important. Because what you resist will persist. My father was a whole staunch deacon, conservative deacon at a Baptist church. Didn't play that gay shit, and the universe said, oh yeah? Oh yeah? Oh yeah? Boom. Y'all, the universe is trying to help us to love humanity, girl, because if you can't make the choice to love it, girl, the universe is going to push your ass to the limit, girl, to see. And I'm going to say this, girl, the universe always wins. That's why it's trying to include your ass into the fold, girl, because it's already won. Why are you fighting your winnings, girl? Why are you forfeiting your blessings, girl? Girl, y'all better start loving and stop fearing, girl, because y'all, okay. The universe said, bitch, whether you want to or not, girl, you're going to learn. Sooner or later, you're going to learn. Keyword gonna. Okay? Elizabeth must have gone through hardships that no one will ever know, navigating those waters with her family. Elizabeth was never just my pastor's daughter. She was my babysitter from time to time and even helped lead our small youth group. We were in the same church until I experienced my first church split at age 13. The split was my first taste of the black or white, my way or the highway mentality. Until that point, I thought everyone outside our denomination was bad, and that we were all bonded in our ownership of the truth. When the church split, I saw our small church divided and saw people that claimed to be a and saw people that claimed to be a family. Girl, what is this word? Verently? Can we find a way to look this up, girl? Because, baby, I don't mind correcting myself. I ain't got no issues, girl. Girl, where the thing at? Okay, girl. That word, girl. It's whatever happened, girl. It's severing relationships and friendships in a way that scared me, even as a young child. Elizabeth's family was on the other side of that divide from my own. No, not vehemently. I'll spell it. VIRULENTLY. Virulently. I'll say virulently or virulently. That word. And I thank y'all for helping me out, because again, I don't know everything. I'm a leprechaun. I'm already vertically challenged. I accept that. The universe blesses me in all ways. So, yes, please. You help a nigga out sometimes. Thank you. Elizabeth's family is on the other side of that divide from my own. Since we left, I have not seen her, except once. Jacob was the oldest brother in the family, only slightly younger than Elizabeth. He was like a big brother to me, the one who taught me how to play basketball and throw a spiral. He was my friend. When our church split and splintered off in different directions, I missed Jacob dearly. A year or two after leaving that church, I got home from school and found my mom sitting on our back steps. She had a look on her face that I hadn't seen before, and I knew something was wrong. When I asked her why she looked upset, she told me that Jacob had contracted bacterial meningitis and passed away. For several minutes, my world went numb. I couldn't see or hear. I stumbled to my room and began to sob. Why had God allowed this to happen? Like, why had someone so young been taken in such a random and cruel way? His poor family, a larger family than my own, 5 children. Sorry, look at the comments. What must they be going through? I ripped the box out of my closet and dumped the contents onto my bed. Within seconds, I found what I was looking for. A small photo album with pictures of all of my old friends from church. I found the picture of Jacob. Seeing that picture, knowing that I would never see him again, pushed me over the edge. 2 days later, Andrew and I went to the funeral, picked up by another family that had stayed in the church. My dad didn't like that we were riding with people from the other side of the divide. It was one of the first seeds of resentment sprouted in me towards our belief system, towards the churches we attended. My friend had died, and still the drama of the church was the focus of conversation. Damn. Walking up to the casket, I saw the first body I ever seen, I looked at Jacob, his body resting peacefully, and I felt a part of my innocence leave me. This was what people talked about when they talked about death. Jacob was there, but he wasn't at the same time. It was a shell of who he was. The light was gone from his face in a way I hadn't imagined I'd ever see. Not now, not this soon. I looked down at his face and remembered how he had taught me to shoot a basket. Put your fingers right here, buddy, over the lines, here and here. Now, steady your feet, and when the ball leaves your hand, snap your wrist like this, so the ball gets a good spin. Aim for the top of the square above the hoop, and you'll be draining them all day long. Got it, little man? And remember how Jacob made me feel. I wasn't just a little kid to him. I was an equal. It was that empowering attitude and encouragement that I remember most. I saw Elizabeth that day, but we didn't speak. She waved at me with a half smile, and I waved back, lost in grief. She was playing the part of the host, helping family and friends find their seats, making sure the music playing was appropriate for the audience. I couldn't have imagined someone could be so busy at a memorial service. If Andrew died, God forbid, I would have hidden in a hole. I would not have had the strength to help my family the way Elizabeth was helping hers. Mel finishes his talk, and I look over at Elizabeth and Nicole. They look happy, and I am happy for them. I still can't believe we are sitting here together, celebrating National Coming Out Day together. It feels right, and I am in awe of the randomness of it all. I mean, like, is this really happening? I introduce Mel to Elizabeth, and she introduces Nicole, and I tell him how we know each other. He, gets the irony, understands the randomness, and I know he understands what this means to me. It is a game changer to reimagine my childhood in light of this revelation. Mel hugs me goodbye, and I feel blessed to have seen him again. I wonder when our paths will cross again. I wonder if they will ever cross again. I hope so. Mel has taught me so much, mostly through the examples he has set as we have interacted. I am lucky to count him as a friend. I came here tonight to hear him speak, but now I know that there was a deeper purpose to it all. Elizabeth and Nicole brings a plate of cookies to the table, and I think back on this year and how everything has woven together so intricately. Of all the people I have known and all the revelations I have had, this one caught me off guard the most. So, how long has it been? Nicole asks us as we scoot our chairs closer to the table. Elizabeth and I lock eyes and exchange a knowing look before either of us explains. Excuse me. Well, the last time we saw each other was at Jacob's funeral, I say. Yeah, that was it. So it's been quite a while, Elizabeth says, remembering as if I have remembered tonight. Okay, girl, let me get some water. Hold on, cause girl, this weed giving me cotton mouth a little bit. Hold on, girl.
I can't do this.
She wanted more.
I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this.
Okay, girl, hold on. All right. Had to get that water real quick. Excuse me. Girl, let me get Andrew one real quick.
That's one thing. And you wanted it,
Okay.
and you got it.
Okay, girl. Back your ass up, girl. You doing too much. You asking for too much, Andrew. Okay. Elizabeth says, remembering as I have remembered tonight. He was a really great guy. Do you remember the time we broke the table trying to dunk the basketball? Elizabeth laughs, her smile happily replacing the most emotionally severe look of loss for only seconds before. And then all of you blamed it on the one girl in the choir, she says. Yes, we did. I take a bite of a cookie and look down at my hands. If he was here, I think he would be happy for you, Elizabeth. I need to just slow down. That's what I need to do, girl. Slow your ass down sometimes, girl. My mouth be like, rrr. Girl be running like, well, never mind. I ain't gonna say that, girl. I ain't trying to get canceled. She smiles. I've wondered that for a long time. No one else in my family is, but I like to think you're right. I think he would be. I was wondering, how your family felt about you coming out. They didn't take the news well. Remember that girl that I was roommates with before Jacob passed? She asked me. More than roommates? Yep. So, how did you two meet? I asked, looking at Nicole. Funny story. Elizabeth and I met at an ex-gay ministry group. Girl. What? Y'all what? Y'all met at an ex-gay girl. The irony of it all, girl. Funny story. Elizabeth and I met at an ex-gay ministry group. Wow. I was one of the leaders, and she came to it because her family would take her back, so to speak, if she changed her ways. I can already tell Nicole is a sweetheart. Oh, this is Nicole speaking, girl. Okay, I'm not changing voices, girl. Y'all both females, girl, so I'm giving y'all the same voice, girl. I can only do so much. I can already tell Nicole is a sweetheart. She grabs Elizabeth's hand as she speaks. and I can see the love in her eyes. We started hanging out a lot, and the ministry group caught on that things were, happening between us. They ordered us to stay apart, said we couldn't be friends, or we would have to leave the ministry. We had to choose between our church group and each other. Even though it sucked to be given the ultimatum, it wasn't a hard decision to make. So, are you back out to your family yet? I ask Elizabeth. She shakes her head no, and I can see that the closet has been weighing on her. The mere mention of her family, and she looks tired. I was disowned once, and I just don't want to lose them again. I hear the pain and conflict in her voice, and I feel the gravity of her situation. I also understand that apprehension and fear, that still small voice of fear that tells you that you will lose the people you love if you come out. I just told myself that if my family disowned me for coming out, then I never really had their love and support from the beginning, I say. Oh, girl. That's why if I was doing a script or something, girl, I would actually read this shit beforehand so I know all this stuff. So y'all, this is a cold reading, girl. It is what it is. No shade. I just told myself that if my family disowned me for coming out, that then I never really had their love and support from the beginning, I say. Nicole nods her head in agreement, and I know I've voiced her sentiment. But then again, I don't have nephews or nieces that I would have lost. So your situation is much different from my own, I add. The thing that hurts the worst is that when I was out, every time they saw me, they would act so sad. They treated me as though I were dead, and they were talking to my ghost. Every time they saw me, I wanted to shake them and say, "It's me, it's Elizabeth, your daughter, your sister, and I'm still here." It broke my heart. They already lost one child. Elizabeth looks down at her hands, and I feel overwhelmed with frustration. She said it best when she said that they had already lost a child. Why lose another because of prejudice? What's up, low-key fur? Elizabeth, weren't you with your first girlfriend about the same time Jacob passed away? I ask. Her face goes a pale. Her face goes a pale. Girl, what? This is what it says in the book. This ain't me this time. This ain't Andrew. Her face goes pale. And I can tell I have inadvertently struck a nerve. I feel terrible seeing that look of angst on her face, knowing that I am responsible for drudging up old memories, old wounds that might be best left unopened. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to pry. It's okay, really. It's just the darkest time of my life, and every time I think about it, I feel a little overwhelmed. She takes a sip of her iced tea before continuing. When Jacob passed away, I had just decided to act on my feelings for the first time. I had chosen to be true to myself and to be happy. It was the first relationship where I actually felt honest, where I felt like I was being me. And then I got the phone call about Jacob, and my whole world crumbled, and everything fell apart. I felt overwhelmingly guilty. I felt like God was punishing me for being a lesbian and for choosing to act on my feelings. I just knew it. And it wasn't just me he punished. It was my family and my poor brother. I was to blame for Jacob's death. I was the reason he died. I fell into a deep and worse depression. Girl, what? I fell into a depression worse than any I ever experienced. And instead of allowing myself to process and grieve, I forced myself not just to withdraw from my family and friends, but to watch my family from a distance, in their pain. She pauses to choke back tears and takes another sip of tea. Nicole's expression says it all. When Elizabeth is upset, she is too. The last time you and I saw each other was at the funeral. Okay, who's reading this girl? Is this me? Is this Tim? Okay, good. It's still her. Okay, I want to be sure. Because this switching of voices, girl. The last time you and I saw each other was the funeral. I remember that day especially because I felt like I had to hold the family together. I didn't have the right to grieve, so I ran around playing host and making sure everything went smoothly because I didn't want to hurt my family any more than I already had. It has been the single greatest struggle I have ever experienced. I am still trying to process all of it. But don't you still think it was your fault? But you don't still think it was your fault, do you? No. But that is the problem with what you and I have always been raised to believe. We were taught that if you didn't live up to a certain set of guidelines and standards, that God was out to get you, okay? That he hated you and his vengeance would be swift. At the time, blaming myself was the only thing that made sense. Elizabeth speaks, and I know that no amount of words could ever hope to capture the intensity of the pain and heartache she's felt over the past 13 years. I cannot really ever understand, but I feel sick as she pours out her heart. And as she tells me her story, part of me is overcome with shame because I have said to so many people, so many times, if you don't follow the letter of the law, God will punish you. Elizabeth's face shows me the consequences of that mentality. I wonder how many people have experienced what Elizabeth experienced and felt that their orientation was the reason something bad happened. I wonder how many parents have told their children it was their fault and forced guilt and shame upon them. I wonder how many times I have used those same tactics to try and save someone. It has taken years of counseling and therapy to get past the guilt and self-blame. And it doesn't help that I have to hide who I am to my family. I love them so much, and I just wish I could be in their lives, authentically. I wish I could be honest with them, she says. For whatever it's worth, I know Jacob didn't die because you are a lesbian. He died from a rare strain of a virus that has taken many before him and probably will take many more before it's all said and done. Never, never, never think that God works so maniacally. You were fearfully and wonderfully made, and I hope you'll always remember that. Elizabeth reaches across the table and grabs my hand, and for a moment, I feel like a small child again. Like she is my pastor's daughter who comes over and orders pizza and watches movies with me. I feel that childhood connection and that bond and know that she is the same person now that she was then. Yes, she is older and wiser, but she is the same. She was always so kind, and I am so happy that she hasn't lost that trait. I am happy that she is not bitter and jaded and hard-hearted. That through all the years and all the pain, she is still the beautiful person I knew as a boy. The three of us walked to our cars and spent another hour in conversation. I know this is the start of a beautiful friendship, and more, I know that in seeing each other, part of us both is finally able to heal. We have been given a rare gift. We have witnessed each other as functioning, healthy adults. Two people who have made it through an upbringing of faith that teaches works above faith and guilt above love. Excuse me, let me read that again. Two people who have made it through an upbringing of faith that teaches works above faith and guilt above love. And we are stronger for it, I think. Elizabeth is strong. I know because she overcame her dark night of the soul. Ooh, not we using mystical terminology, dark night of the soul, baby. If you don't know what the dark night of the soul is, I encourage y'all to study to show thyself approved. There's a particular individual that I would suggest. I forgot his name, but he's an older white guy. He looks very wrinkly about the face. He looked like he was a part of a legendary rock band that my ass don't know about, girl. He is really dope in explaining it. So yes, because she overcame her dark night of the soul, but instead of running away from her faith, she ran to it honestly. I hug my friend and her partner, and we say our goodbyes. I feel profoundly blessed as I navigate this crazy journey that will soon be coming to a close. Elizabeth has confirmed the powerful truth that our God is not vindictive. When he acts in our lives, guilt is not his medium. Love is. Love is the conqueror of guilt and shame. I get into my car and wave to Elizabeth and Nicole. I hope they enjoy a long and happy life together, and that my old pastor comes around. I hope he understands how precious life is, and that Elizabeth is not a ghost. She is a vibrant and loving young woman, and he is lucky to have her for a daughter. And ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of chapter 30, entitled, if I can find it, girl. It's a long-ass chapter, girl. A reunion. That's not the key. That wasn't the key. See, I'm correcting myself a lot, girl. That's how I know I'm aware, girl. I'm correcting myself with my errors in my reading and what note I'm starting on, girl, because that was not the note for family reunion, girl. Maybe in Andrew Caldwell's way. All right. So I appreciate that. That's dope. That's dope. And again, the universe works in very mysterious ways. People don't be learning until it happened to them, girl. That's why Christ, girl, was saying, girl. And not just Christ, but all these other figures, girl, from every expression, there was always a character, girl, that treated people like equals, girl. Those are the characters that we need to be paying attention to, girl, because they realize at the end of the day, girl, that we are all human. And sometimes it takes labels, even reinforced labels, that we believe in but don't really believe in. Because I'm going to be honest about myself. Can I be honest with me tonight, with y'all tonight? Yeah. There was a point in time in church where, not even a point in time, while I was in church, girl, I knew how to play the part. I knew how to play the part. I knew how to make it look like I knew, but I really didn't know. I knew what scriptures to say to get the church on fire. I knew the protocol. But I didn't have a real relationship, and I was still trying to figure out what that relationship was, and that maybe it would be revealed to me. And then the only idea that was provided to me as I got older was that you have to live in this type of way that seemed very unrealistic. Very unrealistic, that only Jesus can obtain. And that only those who are chosen by God will be able to understand. But when we read the narrative of the book, Christ came as the lowliest of them and was able to connect with people on the ground floor, and even decided to go into the earth, into hell, girl, and even cover love, grace, and mercy down there. But when I had my ego death, girl, nothing in my church career at that time, girl, was able to prepare me for that. And we tell people our thoughts and our prayers, but we don't even know how to pray effectively. We don't know how to love each other effectively. We don't know how to commune with each other emotionally and spiritually, collectively. So sometime the universe, God, source, whatever you want to call it, girl, got to throw your ass a curveball that hit your ass. Even though you are the pastor. Even though you are the minister, even though you are the reverend, even though you are the shepherd, you still human. So the fact that Tim was to come across a child, we're talking about childhood, girl. Elizabeth ass being the damn, this is back in the day, girl, when they had Blockbuster, family video, Hollywood video. Okay? Ordered pizza and shit. Talking about back in the day type of stuff. And it's been so many years. What, 13 years they said, girl? And now all of a sudden, girl, you part of the LGBT, girl? You be throwing the strap around too, girl? Fat. And how the church will give you an ultimatum over what love is, girl. That love should be honored, girl. It's a genuine love. It's a true love, girl. But because of what this book or the interpretation by the people in reference to this book says you can't do it, girl. People gonna choose love, girl. And no tea, no shade, girl. I had to walk away from organized religion to find out who I am. Because that religion was what? Organized. In reference to the look and the illusion, but not really the application of what they were preaching. So I had to learn and figure out what that was for myself. And the fact that Elizabeth did the same thing and still is somewhat living in the closet. And Elizabeth's story is not the only story available. Talk to more LGBT people and you'd be surprised. Now, there are some people like myself who have had some sort of what can be considered a unique experience, because a lot of people who are queer don't have those experiences, unfortunately. We're doing what we can now so that they can. So that people can start applying what is known as unconditional love when they claim that the God they serve loves them unconditionally. And how even queer people at that time, because they don't have a healthy version of what queerness is, and how close her falling in love and her brother passing, how she had no choice but to blame herself because of what she's been taught, as opposed to just understanding that her brother unfortunately died from this rare strain and that other people are going to die from it too. So it wasn't personal. And she didn't have anybody to really tell or really heal with except her damn lover, except her damn partner. Baby, love will open up your eyes, and a lot of people are not prepared for what they're about to see. But that's why love is important, because no matter what you see, baby, you still included. Ron says, I wonder if this is the case of most gay black men that often time claims to be bisexual in order to keep their relationship with their families. So they say that they are bisexual because it gives their family hope that they might be with. Now, maybe in some instances, and I guess it could be a transition to that point. You know what I'm saying? And I think, like you said, it also shows how people are still homophobic, because bisexual is kind of like, oh, it's a phase. Okay, let them go through a phase or whatever. But I've had conversations with people who are genuinely bisexual, who do have the capacity to love both men and women. So I think there's a lot of context and nuance there. But I'm not going to say what you said is not true, because it is. Like, I don't think for all of bisexual, but for some people who kind of use that as a scapegoat or a shift. Because even, for example, Trey Melvin, fine, big lip, Erykah Badu, eye color having ass with his deep ass voice. He was straight and then was bisexual and then was gay. So yes, I guess for some gay or a lot of gay men, it can be used as a transition period. And I think we have to explore bisexuality even more, because I'm not educated on that like I need to be, or that I should be. But I'll say, speaking ignorantly, at least for me, I can agree with that. I can agree with that. Okay. Let's go ahead and take a break, y'all, because I need to drink some water. Because, baby, like I said, when you smoke weed, baby, water is your friend, girl. It be trying to take the moisture and shit out. All right. And we will be right back. And we will hear our residential Okay, overall theme song entitled Sexual by B Motherfucking Slade, okay? And we will be back in a few. Peace. Why I say peace, girl? We ain't going nowhere, girl. We be back in a moment. We be back. We be back.
Sexual. Some people are straight, and some people are gay. Maybe I'm just sexual. 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 Some prefer the top, and some prefer the bottom. But we're all just sexual. Sexual. We're all just sexual. Sexual.
Yeah. Hey, we're not in the 60s, but yet we're talking about the same things. So why are we having these same discussions? It's so interesting that you find it fascinating who I'm sleeping with and what I'm doing. Why do we all need these labels? Your character is all that matters to me. You shouldn't let ideology and favors make you stop loving family and friends.
Some people are straight.
Ooh yeah.
Some people are gay.
Ooh yeah.
Maybe I'm just sexual.
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 Some prefer the top, some prefer the bottom. But we're all just sexual. We're all just sexual.
Some people are straight. Ooh yeah.
Some people are gay.
Oh yeah.
Baby, I'm just sexual.
Baby, I'm just sexual.
Sexual.
Ooh yeah.
Some prefer the top,
Some prefer the top.
some prefer the bottom.
Some prefer the bottom.
We're all just sexual.
Sexual.
We're all just sexual.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Why do we all need these labels? Is he gay or straight or somewhere in between? Yeah. Don't let ideology and favors make you treat your brother or your sister differently. Yeah.
Some people are straight.
Some people are straight.
Some people are gay.
They need to work on that fade feature, because now we got a fade feature on here that you click the button and it kind of fades it out, but it fades it out too damn fast. I need it to be a nice smooth transition out. Okay? But anyway, the name of that song once again is called Sexual by B Slade. Again, we gonna always give honor where honor is due, and that nigga's the GOAT. I'm just saying, okay? Okay, y'all, let's get this going on, girl, because my ass getting hungry, girl. Let's get into chapter 31, entitled Baby Human. Okay. My brother and I were inseparable as children. When I was 2 or 3, Andrew invented a game called Baby Human. In this game, I was Baby Human, but for some reason, I always acted like a dog. I think it was Andrew's attempt to show our parents that he wanted a puppy, but my only motivation was making my big brother happy. Okay, I found my place again, sorry. And I loved it when he laughed, especially when I was the one that made him laugh. He was my hero and has remained my hero for most of my life. I was always the less athletic one. When Andrew and I played football in high school, I remember his devotion in teaching me the plays and helping me work on my three-point stance. When we would stand in the yard and practice together, and in true big brother fashion, he was always there for me when I needed him. I remember one grueling practice in particular. We were running extra laps as a punishment, having lost the game the previous weekend, and when I was 2 laps away from finishing, I fell to my knees, exhausted. I wanted to pass out, to throw up, and I wanted water. I wanted to quit. Andrew had already finished his laps, but saw me from the other side of the field. And so, in the ways befitting a big brother and team captain, he ran around the track and helped pick me up. He ran those last 2 laps with me and pushed me forward with words of encouragement. He wouldn't let me quit. He wouldn't let me lose hope. He wanted me to succeed. It was a pinnacle moment in my young life because it was the moment I saw my brother as a man instead of just a boy. He had grown up. I hoped when I grew up, I would be at least half the man and half the leader he was. 2 months before my experiment began, I was the best man in my brother's wedding, and with the help of his friends, we threw him an incredible 2-day bachelor party. I knew what was about to happen within my life, and he had no clue. But at least I got that moment with him before I leapt into the unknown. The morning of his wedding, we sat and drank coffee on the porch of the farmhouse and talked about what he thought being a husband would be like. Excuse me. I told him he was going to be a great husband for the same reason he's a great brother. He is faithful and he is a servant. That's really all there is to it. I think about my brother often, every day in fact, and my heart aches, knowing it has been a little over 5 months since we've last spoken. Only a few weeks ago, I heard from my mom that my brother and his wife are trying to have a baby. The thought of this silence between us lasting longer than it already has is crushing. The endless depression, knowing that my family is splintered, has weighed heavily on me. I did what I had to do, and I would do it again, but I hate myself for having lied to Andrew and Maureen. I remember that first morning after I came out, when I came out to them while we were stood in the kitchen, and I remembered the feeling of my nerves boiling over. I remember throwing up and crying at the same time, and how Marin brought me the can of Sprite. That Marin brought me the can of Sprite and asked me to come back inside. It was the first true act of kindness during my experiment, a lesson in humility, and a realization that I really am lucky. So many others aren't. Liz surely wasn't as lucky. Nor was Will, or Sean, or so many others. I was lucky. To have a brother is to have a second half, or second self, a companion during the formative years and beyond. Having a brother means having a co-conspirator and someone else that understands your frustration with your parents. It is truly a beautiful relationship being brothers. And when Andrew and I stopped talking unexpectedly, part of my being vanished. It is time to drive to my brother's house. I decided to go under the guise of delivering a book that I think Andrew will like, and I write him a letter and tuck it inside the front cover. I do not know what to expect from this encounter, but I hope that he will at least read the letter and know that I miss him. I turn the keys to the ignition, take a deep breath, and pull out of the driveway. The burden of reconciliation belongs to me. My year is winding down, and this is another thing I know I have to do. A part of me is thankful, though, that he found out when he did. Where I would be and what would I do if I was just able to tell him the truth. Read that again, y'all. Where would I be and what would I do if I was just about to tell him the truth? I'd be emotionally unstable, like I was that morning before I told him I was gay in the first place. And while my second coming out still looms with others, I feel a small measure of peace knowing that my family, all that's left, is communicating the lessons that this year has taught me, and praying that those lessons are as eye-opening for them as they have been for me. As I drive to my brother's house, I think about other areas in my life where the burden of reconciliation belongs to me. I used to believe that it was the responsibility of gays and lesbians to come to me and to the church, but now I see it has always been the opposite. The damage done by the mainstream church is vast, and the burden rests on our shoulders to apologize without expectations or reservation. It is not come be who I am. It's I'm deeply and truly sorry, and please let me be in relationship with you. I park on the street in front of the house like I did that day 5 months before, and I sit. Excuse me. My brother's truck is in the driveway, so the inevitability of seeing him becomes real, and I am so overcome with fear that my body shakes in response. Apologizing for the pain I have caused is one thing, but not knowing how he will respond is almost more than I can bear. I grab the brown paper bag, take a few deep breaths, and walk down the driveway and onto the walkway leading to the door. Every step makes me feel like I am wearing an old diver suit, the ones that weigh hundreds of pounds, and I feel constricted. With every breath, I am acutely aware of every rib inside my chest, and by the time I reach the door, my palms are sweaty. Knees weak, arms sweaty. Girl, I fucked that up, girl. I was trying to do the Eminem shit. Eminem said, girl, fuck it. My palms are sweaty, and I feel dizzy. If I hyperventilate, at least I have the brown paper bag the book is in. Always being prepared. A lesson my brother and I learned in Cub Scouts, okay? In the words of the great T.S. Madison, bitch, by the way of the Bible girl, if you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. After taking one last deep breath, I make a fist and knock. I knock and then I wait. And when my brother doesn't answer, I knock again. What if my sister-in-law opens the door? What if he opens the door and tells me to leave? What if he's here and purposely ignoring me because he doesn't want to see me? I live in these doubts, trying to convince myself to leave. Instead, I knock again, more loudly. A minute passes and still no answer. My breaths come shallow and in rapid succession. I have to close my eyes and just focus on breathing. With the expectation of coming out, I have never been so nervous. The possibility of rejection has never seemed so real. Why won't he answer? I knock again to the same result, and so I sit on the top step and light a cigarette, need to be a damn joint, looking out into the familiar scene of the yard, wondering where the past 5 months have gone. Has it really been almost half a year since I sat and smoked in this very spot? Andrew's truck is parked in the driveway, so he must be ignoring me. I decide to leave the book and the letter and go. So I walk to his truck and put it in the passenger seat for him. Not his car being open, girl. My shit be locked, girl. I live in the hood. Walking back to my car, I feel defeated and cold. But more than anything, I feel hopeless. For months, I have felt an overwhelming burden to share stories with Andrew, not to speak in broad concepts or theological terms, just to tell him stories from my year that help me understand. I want to tell him about Jason and Scott, Will, Sean, and my trip to New York, and I want to tell him about Jesus in drag. I want him to hear about these people that our church wouldn't let us know before. I want to share the epiphanies and the stereotypes that my experience has proven to be myth. And I want to humanize these beautiful people so that he doesn't see labels, just people. I think it is the only way for him to understand why I did this. It may just be the only way for anyone to overcome their aversions to labels. An hour later, I am sitting at a cafe by my home, having already made plans to hang out at Tribe. I need a good beer. My phone rings. I look down in time to see my brother's picture flashing onto the screen. What? He's calling me. He's calling me. I answer nervously, hoping for a positive moment, something I can hold on to feel better about this schism. Hello? Hey, Tim. His tone is more even than mine. How are you? I'm good. I just got your book and the letter. I mean, just got the book. You're probably reading your book too, but I just got the book and your letter. Thank you. No problem. I just hope you enjoy it. I'm sure I will. He pauses, and I wonder what he's about to say. I'm just calling because I wanted to see if you wanted to go grab a beer or something. Marine is out of town, and it's been a long time. You're telling me 5 months. I'd love to grab a beer with you, but I made some plans and I can't break them with these friends. What plans? I'm going down to Tribe to see and meet some people. Girl, he said meet. See, this is not me, girl. Not always. Maybe 80%, but this 20% ain't me, girl. I'm going down to Tribe to meet some people I met back in Memphis who are passing through. Jesus, that was horrible. It's like pulling teeth. He knows what Tribe is. I tried convincing him to go with me when he thought I was gay. Oh, I mean, that's fine. He seems disappointed. How about tomorrow afternoon? Well, that works too. Well, great. I'll see you then tomorrow. We'll see you then. He sounds positive. Girl, that read-through was horrible, girl. This cold read-through. We hang up the phone, and elation overtakes me, okay? Could I really be getting my brother back? I knock on the door, and the doorknob turns. This is it. The moment I've imagined for months. The door opens, and I see a huge dog and my brother holding him back. Andrew looks the same as ever. Now his name is Andrew. Girl, Okay, girl, that's Andrew Caldwell way, girl, of saying that he want to be acknowledged one more goddamn time, girl. Okay, girl, here you go. Where you at?
And that's one thing. And you wanted it.
Okay.
And you got it.
You what?
You wanted it.
And you what?
And you got it.
Okay, girl, there you go, girl. Not goddamn Andrew Caldwell ass over here being one of the ghetto hood wish version of Risha's, girl. We gonna honor his ass over here, girl. Okay. Andrew looks the same as ever, but the dog looks like he's going to pee. He's so excited. I hate dogs who do that. Be so excited, start peeing like, ugh, sit down. Jack, down. Andrew yells. Jack obeys and sits, and Andrew opens the screen door. Brother, I say, smiling. Before he can say anything, I pull him into a hug and hold him tightly. I miss you, man, I say, trying not to cry. Like always, I kiss the top of his head and he laughs. I missed you too, he replies. We move to the couches, and while Jack sniffs? Okay, girl, something is going on. Sniffers? Don't tell me that humanity is trying to shift the human language, girl. We're going to be speaking, this is going to be the language of humanity. Shift this. Girl. We move to the couches, and while Jack sniffs me and licks my face, Andrew goes to the refrigerator and grabs 2 long necks. How's life? He asks as he sits in his usual spot on the couch. Life is great, actually. I'm very happy. I take a sip of the seasonal ale and read the label nervously. That's good to hear. Mom says you've been traveling a lot. Yes. I spent some time in Memphis, and I'm going to Kansas City for Christmas. It's been a busy year. Sounds like fun. He takes a sip of his beer. Marina's out of town right now at a wedding. I'm just trying to get stuff done around the house while she's gone. The house looks great. Yeah, we've been doing a lot of work on it lately. I hope I own a house someday. I'll have to find a woman with great credit, though. Andrew laughs, and I still feel good just talking to him. How's your project going? He broaches the topic, diplomatically, and I can understand why. My project is what created the need for this reunion in the first place. I think for a moment before answering. I want to be as thoughtful and intentional with my response as I can be. It has changed me and my life, and my faith. This year has taught me more than I could have ever anticipated. And the whole thing has been humbling, to say the least. What do you think is the biggest change this far? So far, the thing I've learned is that this experiment has less to do with being gay than it does with people in general. I've always felt superior to anyone who didn't believe as I did. But now, I'm seeing that mindset, really is dangerous. I've learned that gays and lesbians aren't anything like we've always been taught. They are every bit our equals. For instance, I have friends here who have deep, fruitful relationships with God. Before, I didn't think it was possible. You've met gay Christians? He seems puzzled. Let me tell you about a few of them and about the night that really changed my life. I pull out my laptop and open up the file that has all of my pictures of the year. He moves next to me on the couch and I start telling him about some of the people I've met. And he listens. He sits and looks at the pictures and asks the occasional questions, and he listens. I show him the picture of Jesus in drag, and he seems fairly shocked. I pat his back and tell him, I understand. My brother may never agree with the things I tell him about my friends and their impact on my life, but he doesn't discount any of my stories. He just asks questions and listens as I tell him story after story after story, The hardest part of coming out was lying to you. I look at him in the eyes and take a deep breath. I vomited outside, after telling you. I just wish you told me the truth all along. I couldn't though, man. I had to try to understand the fear that people feel when they come out to their families. I had to open myself to the possibility of rejection from my family. But you've got nothing to worry about. If I were really gay, I would have been blessed by your response. You loved me through it, and it meant a lot to me. I'm sorry we hadn't talked. But you've got to understand where I'm coming from. Maureen has been a part of the family for 2 months, and her brother-in-law comes out, and then several months later, she finds out it's a lie and see how it hurts me. She was angry, and I was angry, and we needed time to process things. I get it. I really do. I can't apologize for my experiment, but I am truly sorry you were hurt. And I'm sorry if I made you feel like I didn't care about you when I thought you were gay. I really didn't know how to process your coming out. I didn't think any of us knew how to process your coming out. I know you may not want to hear this, but that is because of the religious system we've been captive to for so long. I'm not trying to preach to you, I'm not. But I have gotten to see things, to witness firsthand how violent and hypocritical it is to claim to follow a God of love and then treat family, friends, and strangers the way we do because of our religion. It reminds me of the words of St. Augustine. I add, the church is a whore, but she is my mother. Andrew smiles at me. You're really growing up, Tim. You're really growing up. I mean, I couldn't be baby human forever. Andrew and I laugh and raise a toast to baby human. I'm glad you came over, Andrew says, looking over at me. I can see the same relief in his eyes that I feel in my heart, and the burden lifts off of my shoulders. Me too, brother. Me too. And ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of chapter. What is this, girl? Yum. Chapter 31, Baby Human, y'all. How many chapters do we have left? We have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 4 more chapters left, y'all. So we got like 2 lives. Or maybe the next live I'll just read all 4 and we just do a longer one. But again, I appreciate this book because it shows the journey, not just of LGBT people, but the journey of humanity. And that's even helping me. Because all of the information that I've been, trying to share with people and the conversations that I've been trying to have both on YouTube and TikTok, I'm grateful for those things. And it gives me a chance to even challenge my own ego that may want to respond emotionally only, but not with any sort of emotional direction or awareness. But it's once again giving me the opportunity to humanize people who are struggling to humanize me. And even with this here, we've heard in the previous chapters on how Tim's brother, Andrew, Caldwell, did not want to really be around it because it's like I'm trying to process being married. I'm trying to process the life I'm trying to build with my damn wife. Then your ass come out, that threw us for a goddamn loop. And then months later, I found out that the shit is a damn lie. It's like there's too much Twilight Zone shit here, and I need to process. And I think even for us as queer people, what we need to do is continue to give people grace and mercy because people are learning to process this. My parents, for example, especially my father, it took him a long time to process having a queer child. He has queer children because his daughter is queer as well, but had to process having a queer son. In the beginning of his journey, started off like how a lot of other LGBT people's journeys start off in reference to their parents. But through love, he chose to work through his own ignorances and his own biases, and I'm so proud of him. Because in the midst of his fear, his ignorance, all that stuff, the social conditioning, he still chose to love. To where now I feel like in my 30s, my relationship with my father is getting a lot better. Because there was a time during my childhood, even up to like my mid-20s, to where I kind of had a resentment toward my father because it's like I can't be honest around you. And my father even felt that. He would always ask me, why do you always talk to your mom? Because I didn't know how to get over that fear and process. How can I tell you about myself when I've already seen this drastic ass, horrible ass response? But I also had to give him grace and mercy because he was just operating in what he knew at the time. And I can't fault him for that. And the same thing happened with this reunion, family reunion. That's more of the key between Tim and Andrew, and how Andrew was open and welcoming and loving and was willing to listen and to learn and to also educate Tim and also be a part of his experiment and to play a part in what a lot of LGBT people have to experience through the unique expression, the unique judgment of coming out of the closet. And how just because it started off this way don't mean it have to finish this way too. And that love is a real thing. And in order to really accept love, we have to change our minds. We have to renew our minds. Christ talked about the renewing of your mind. But we also should not harden our heart either, because that's the way that we communicate with each other as well, emotionally, through our energy. And yes, we're human. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to fuck up. We're going to fuck up. Y'all see how many times I be fucking up in my read-throughs with stuttering and talking all fast, girl? But do we not get through it? We here at chapter goddamn 31, and we only got 4 more chapters left with my stuttering ass, girl. So obviously the universe off, but I had to learn to accept that for myself. I knew how to give love to other people outside of myself. That's just been a part of my nature. But for the longest time, I neglected the most important person in my life, which was me. And now that I'm loving on me, and low key, not feeling bad about it, knowing that it is necessary, and that's one of the reasons why I encourage self-love, is because you need to give love to you. Because you came in this world by yourself, you're going to leave by yourself. Everybody outside of you, everything outside of you is temporary. Hell, they even going to leave your ass. You still have to learn how to love. But when you love yourself, you get to a place where you start overflowing. The overflow is for everybody else. What's in my cup is for me. That's why my cuppeth runneth over. That's one of the benefits of love. Your cup runneth over. And there are so many different expressions of goddamn love, baby. It's love when it come down to finances. It's love when it come down to miracles. It's love when it come down to healing. That's why it pays to love and pay it forward, because your blessing is not just a monetary one. Even if you feel compelled to bless BubzDaGawd monetarily, you can. CashApp at the bottom screen, BubzDaGawd, baby. I'm taking all my blessings, but that could be a blessing in a job opportunity that came out of nowhere when it seems like all hope is lost. Or lost. I need to enunciate more. Lost. It can come in the fact of some sort of situation could have happened to where you could have lost your life. And that grace and mercy that you gave to somebody else can be applied in that moment to where your ass is running late for work and you mad as hell thinking that you gonna be reprimanded for that, and come to find out, girl, if you would have left on time, you would have been caught in that goddamn 12-car collision. That's why it's good to pay it forward with love, and I make sure I do that, baby. My ass is wealthy as fuck when it comes to love, girl, and I want more of it, because it's unlimited, and it's enough for everyone to receive. It's more than enough to go around, girl. That's why I love doing these lives. That's why I love these long-ass lives. Even though my YouTube channel don't be growing, it's kind of still stagnant. A few people unsubscribed. Am I deterred by that? Hell no. Do I have my moments? Yeah, I do, but I don't let it control me. I enjoy getting up on live and doing something every day or every other day, and I know that I'm giving back with love. That's why I'm preparing myself for my blessings, girl, because I know my blessings are going to be omega level blessings. And I told myself, all the shit that I've been through in 31 years, I owe it to myself to live the rest of my life like Beyonce asked, girl, why did God give me this life? In my own way, in my own expression. And now the missing component to manifesting my best life has been acknowledged, has been loved on, and that is growing and evolving and will always be a student, which is me. I realize that now. And a wise mystic once said, bitch, once you see the truth, girl, you can't go back. There's no purpose in going back. There's no reason in going back, girl. It's either go back and die. Go back or die. But, girl, when you already died unto the self, girl, and you realize you're going to die one day, all you have left is to live. And the universe don't mind giving us all type of miscellaneous, unlimited ways to express that. And to remind you that no matter what's going on in your life, girl, you always are in control of your narrative. That's why you have your own unique individual fingerprint. Don't nobody else in this motherfucking world have your fingerprint. So you already came in here with a unique expression, girl. All that's required is for you to live it. And we've heard testimonies of people in this book who are part of the LGBT community, especially trans people, because trans people are being targeted, unfortunately. And we had excuse me, you got a trans woman who ass stomps the pavement and makes the bitch bleed and don't give a fuck and is living her best life and had every other choice or chance or reason to take her own life. But she didn't. She chose herself. It took her a minute to choose herself because she had that situation happen to her multiple times, but it ain't happening no more. She changed that shit up and manifested her own destiny and her own dreams. In her own truth. It may not be your truth, but it is her truth. And you can't stop her motherfucking truth. I bet it was people from the... And look, the universe is just doing its job. I don't even get mad no more. I know that's why it's called long suffering and grace and mercy and patience. That's why the theme song for my YouTube channel is B. Slade's photosynthesis song. That all these things are required after the storm. Well, no, what, how it go? Hold on. After the sun, then comes the rain. And after the storm, the sun will shine again. Plant seeds of faith. Add tears of pain. Add a dash of struggle, bitch, because we working smarter, not harder, bitch. Just be patient. Your destiny will manifest. Yes, photosynthesis. We live in a very microwavable generation now. We want everything instantaneously and fast. Not saying that can't happen. Because there are people who are so in line and just so in they shit, girl, to where they just manifest shit like this, girl, in they sleep. I'm trying to get to that level. Which is why I'm learning to love myself, baby. Because heavy is the head that wear the crown, girl. And I'm already short. I ain't finna have no weak ass neck. And I'm short. The fuck? But I know that everything is working for my good. And I do not despise small beginnings, bitch. Everybody gotta start somewhere. All the greats went through worse shit than me. You got motherfuckers who lived and they had to live in their own cars, who was homeless, who would put on plays and shit and performances and know that 3 people would show the fuck up. But did that stop them? Hell no. Now these people multi-millionaires, girl. Millions of people buying their shit, supporting their shit, girl. The only person that can prevent me from living my best life that I've discovered is me. And even when I was younger, with my desperate ass, wanting love so bad, my people asked me, what you want for your birthday? What you want for your Christmas? And here come my pitiful ass. What I want, you can't buy. What I want, you can't buy. I just want a relationship. I just want love. I just want someone to love me. And they will always tell me, love yourself. Start loving yourself. Stop looking for love and let love come to you. I was ready to Bruce Lee cross kick people. I don't care if it was my mama, my daddy, my cousin, girl. I was ready to fight in the field. I didn't care who it was, girl. It was like telling the Beyonce stand something bad or Nicki Minaj stand something bad, girl. Them hoes ready to slice, dice, and reprice. You see? I'm screaming. But even with them, like even with people who come in and troll, I'm gonna change the narrative. Okay? I feel like I was saying something else, girl, but I'm gonna move on, girl, because I need to end this damn live, and I'm ending with this. A wise mystic once said, and this was a very unique analogy. You're in heaven, girl, and there's the heavenly choir, girl, and God is the conductor, and you know Satan up in that motherfucker because he's the minister of music, according to this narrative. Okay? So the choir is playing, and it sounds so beautiful because you know it's beautiful, it's just heavenly. And Lucifer at the time decides that, okay, bitch, I want to play some notes and chords that is not in this key. So I start doing some shit, transpose some shit, trying to add disharmony and disruption. God asked, instead of him acting the way that we think he would act, girl, all he did was like, okay, bitch, we just gonna play around your ass, girl, because unlike you hitting the transpose button, bitch, I created you. So I know all of the frequencies, girl. I know I can find a way to make keys go into different keys that seem like it don't go in those keys, girl. There's a white boy right now, I forgot his name. His name is Jacob something. He's a Grammy Award winner. This nigga said he be doing 12-part harmony, all this stuff. He'll take chords and notes that don't fit into an original scale or something and make it work, girl. That's what God did, girl. I'm gonna bring balance, girl. But it don't matter where you go, girl. I'm always balanced. If you go from the key of C to the key of D, bitch, I am there. No matter how many times you transpose, no matter how many times you change sounds, girl, whether you go from piano to a goddamn synthesizer, girl, I am there. So I'm wherever you on. I don't know. It's just me, and I know I'm living my best life, and it's gonna be what it's gonna be, girl. I grew up being judged and being bullied, girl, and I'm still here. So if anything, I'm preparing myself to be judged and bullied even more on a bigger scale, girl, because when you have people just doing it out of for no reason, nothing constructive, girl, be excited, because that literally means that your next level is approaching. Like I said, I look at motherfuckers like I'm Goku from Dragon Ball Z, girl. Yes, give me your energy, bitch, so I can make this the biggest, baddest, strongest, over level 9,000 spirit bomb I can do, girl. Because remember, Goku was saving Earth and needed y'all to give him y'all energy because y'all couldn't do the work. No shade. Okay, girl. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for listening. I mean, yeah, technically watching too. Thank you for being here. How about that? Thank you for being here. Shout out to Queen Spicy. Okay. Shout out to Ron in the building. Shout out to Low Key First. Shout out to Queen Amber. Okay. Shout out to Queen Donna. Even though I know she ain't here, she gonna be in the replay. So shout out to you. Shout out to Lala. Shout out to Roki. Shout out to all my peoples. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. I'm already short, girl, so I'm okay with humble beginners, girl. I'm okay with humble beginners, bitch. You gotta start somewhere. But yes, thank you. Make sure you hit that like button. You ain't gotta subscribe if you don't want to, girl, because I'm not everybody's cup of tea, which is okay. But you can at least hit the like button. You ain't gotta be a hating ass person all your life. And if you feel compelled to subscribe, please make sure that you hit that notification bell and click all. Okay, because some of my alerts begin to people late as fuck, but that's the best way you can be connected, is if you hit that alert button to make sure, because I might just do a random sporadic live. So if you're really fucking with the flow, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you feel compelled in your spirit, girl, because I know it's tax time, and you feel like you want to bless somebody, girl, you want to pay it forward a little bit, girl, you can also hit the Cash App at the bottom of the screen, $ BubzDaGawd, and we don't turn down nothing. Even if it's $1, thank you. It'll make us holler. We appreciate it, girl, because I'm getting all of my blessings in all of the forms, girl. All right? I'll take the jingle and the fold, whatever it is. Whatever you want to give is cool. Thank y'all, and I appreciate y'all. And we going to leave you, of course, with our outro, which is Language of Tears, again, by B. Slade, just to let y'all know that no matter what you're going through, oh shit, no matter what you're going, no matter what you're going through, I still got to work out this whole phase thing or fader thing. No matter what you're going through, God, Source Universe, understands and honors your tears. Okay? Let that unconditional love consume you. But in order for you to accept it, you got to make room for it. And crying is one of the best, healthiest, ideal ways to remove any stagnant energy out of your body. You deserve it. You deserve happiness. You deserve joy. You deserve peace. You deserve love. You deserve the best of everything. And the only person that can stop you from having that experience is you. So, with that being said, thank y'all again. And I will see y'all again as we finish up The Cross in the Closet. Have a good night, y'all. Peace.
Feeling so lonely, feeling so down when you need someone. No one's there to be found. The pain inside can't be expressed verbally, so you cry on your pillow. You don't know what you're saying, but I know an interpreter.
you're wrong, when your friends are gone, he's a shoulder to cry on. God understands your tears. You can't keep it bottled inside, so just let it out. In God you confide. That's what he's there for. He knows all your pain. It's alright to cry. Joy will come in the morning, but I'm no interpreter of your tears. When your voice will cry, he lives in open ear. Oh, God understands the language of tears. He knows all about all your pains and your fears. When you're right and you're wrong, when your friends are gone, he's a shoulder to cry on. God understands your tears. He understands the language of tears. Oh, the language of tears. When you're right and when you're wrong, when your friends are gone, he's a shoulder to cry on. God understands your tears. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He knows all about your pain. Oh, yes, he does. He understands your tears. It's alright to cry. Oh, Jesus, you can cry.